It was a celebration of life in Lagos for the late Mrs. Adebisi Van, who recently died at the age of 85. Born Adebisi Ajala in 1932, the deceased, who was fondly called Iyaoge of Lagos, London, New York, and the whole world, began a last journey home with a Christian wake, which took place at City Club, Surulere.
Sounded like of a great multitude in heaven, shouting, Hallelujah! Salvation and glory and power come to our God. For true and just are the judgments. He has condemned the great prostitute who corrupted the earth by adulterers. He has avenged on her the blood of servants. And again they shouted, Hallelujah.
She passed through our lives in many ways. She was not just a mother to the children, she was a mother to many youths in the church. She was the matron of the Christian Friendly Society, and she was a mentor in many ways.
Sorrow as others who have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so God will bring within those who sleep in Jesus.
That will not make us to be partakers of their hope. Take it out of our lives in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Give us a transformed heart that we truly have a relationship with you, and your name alone will be glorified. Amen. Thank you, blessed Redeemer. To you will be the glory. In Jesus' name we pray.
The day after, all roads led to Ebenezer Baptist Church, Campbell Street, Lagos Island, for the funeral service, which was graced by family, friends, and associates, including the representatives of the Oba of Lagos, His Royal Majesty Oba Ridwan Akiolu.
Children, we thank you for how she has kept them when she was younger, and how they kept her when she was older. Father, accept our thanks in Jesus' name. David in Psalm 8 verse 4 said, "You, Lord, who have been our strength for many years. What is man that you have made of it, that you have manifested unto him, and the Son of Man that you visited him?"
Everything that happens in this world happens at the time God chooses. He set the time for birth and the time for death, the time for planting and the time for pulling up, the time for killing and the time for healing, the time for tearing down and the time for building.
Dear Grandma, you are through the world with God back well, grandmother. You showed us the grandchildren, the meaning of true love. You showered upon us deep care and guidance and gave us godly directions, protecting us so dearly like the mother hen.
As we listen to your word this morning, open our spiritual understanding and give us the hearts that will be receptive to accept your word. I hide myself behind the cross of Christ, and I ask that you use me as vessel unto honor to bless your people. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thereafter, the remains of the deceased were interred at the Ikoyi Cemetery, Ikoyi, Lagos State.
God will continue to uphold you in the name of Jesus Christ. You shall be well with you. Thank you, my son. As we give back to you our money, you shall be well with all that concerns you with us in Jesus' name. Thank you, my son. To you alone be the glory. In Jesus' precious name.
The celebration of life for the deceased came to a climax with a classy reception which held at Yoruba Tennis Club, Onikon, Lagos Island, where Ebony Band entertained the guests with good music.
Now, we bring to you the grand tasting of Wines of South Africa 2018, and this took place in 4 Points by Sheraton in Lagos, Nigeria.
Are you gonna dance you if I show you my money? Are you gonna dance you if I show you the way? Are you gonna dance you if I show you my pockets? Baby, are you gonna dance you if I show you my wallet? I will show you the money. Baby, dance from you. Baby, move from you. Don't go from you. I will show you the money. Baby, dance from you. Show me your body. Don't go from you. African, 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 baby. Ooh, yeah. See, African, 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 baby. I don't, yeah. The money too much, I'm dashing. Are you feeling my singing? Buy whatever you're thinking. Can't you see what I'm feeling? Lagos to Dubai, Abuja to Missouri, go back to Mumbai. Now is the music that want to dance to?
Hello there, beautiful people. How you all doing? My name is Bianca Uwani. Ovation TV is here at 4 Points by Sheraton for the Wines of South Africa Grand Tasting. We were here last year, now we're here this year. We're here at the red carpet. Behind me you can see we're also one of the media partners. Okay, so now we'll go in and then find out what's happening. I know there are lots of wines to taste there. So then join us as we taste the wine. And if you will be tasting, I'll taste when you will have some problem. So join us as we go in and taste the wine and tell you which is better. But I think every other one is good, so everyone is better. But then when you're let's taste.
If I show you my money, are you gonna dance you? If I show you the way, are you gonna dance you? If I show you my pockets, baby, are you gonna dance you? If I show you my wallet, I will show you the money.
We have white wine and red wine, and we also make a rosé. And so those are different styles of wine, but we also have wine made from different grapes. They have different tastes and characters as well.
All right, so we know some wines are more alcoholic than one, right?
Yeah, certainly. Depending on the time that you pick, you can get a variance in the amount of alcohol in the wine.
All right, can I have a taste of one, whichever one is mild or light? Should I?
Yeah, the rosé is a lovely one.
Okay, let me just try that.
Sure.
Just a little. Well, it's nice.
Thank you, thank you.
Abuja to Missouri, go back to Mumbai. Now is the music that want to dance to? Are you gonna dance you? If I show you my money, are you gonna dance you?
For our classic, our Laverie, that's more premium, and Cathedral Cellar, that's more premium, and our heritage brand, Roodeberg.
So what makes them different?
Well, it depends on which category. Well, with our Blanc de Blanc, it's the same method made as the champagne from France, and it's 100% Chardonnay grapes that we use, and it's a fantastic brand, fantastic brand.
What I'm going to pour for us is flagship blend. So this is a blend of Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon, and I mean it's done internationally really well, and this comes from the best grapes on the farm, the best vineyards on the farm, and it gets the most attention in the cellar as well. So you see it's a really nice, big, full, textured white wine that will stand its own if you pair it with food, for example. A lot of people say you can only drink red wine with food, but I want to tell them to come and taste this. Let's toast. Successful Nigerian trip. Cheers.
Baby, move from you. Don't go from you. I will show you the money. I will, baby, dance from you.
You cannot really say that one is the best, but I've seen some interesting wines. One that interests me is the one that is called Cathedral Cellar. It seems a matured, well-rounded wine, a nice stuff, and it's well packaged, and the taste is good.
So ladies, we're here for the tasting South African wines. I'm sure you've had enough of the wines already, but which is your favorite?
Okay, my favorite is Stella Bosch Wine Yard. I think It's my it's infusion. It's sweet. It's fruity. They have different flavors: mint, vanilla, and all that. Mint is my best flavor. It's really, really, really nice. I like it. Yeah.
And yours? I think I'll go with infusion. I had like 3 glasses and it tastes like you haven't had. All right, ladies, now you have fun and remember, drink responsibly.
Welcome once again. This is our 7th edition, the second time around here at 4 Points. Introduce to you some of the new wines that are not in the market, and further to just also get other wines that are here in the market so that are known to you. Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of us being here, amongst other things, is to ensure that Nigerians get the best of South Africa's offer. On that note, I'm not going to take too much time. I just want to call up on stage our Chief Executive Officer, Mrs. Siobhan Thompson. Please give her a round of applause.
We have a lot of business to do here tonight. We have 10 fantastic producers, and I know that you have to taste all their wines. For us as South Africans, to introduce our world-class wines to you. And you'll see over the years we've got better and better, and you'll see some of the best wines we have to offer in this room. So please enjoy yourself, drink responsibly, because we have to say that. Please taste the wines. So here's to you. Cheers. Cheers. And thank you for welcoming us the way you have. Enjoy the evening.
Don't go for you. I will show you the money. I will baby dance from you. Show me your body. Don't go for you. Mini money mo. Baby give me.
With all of that said and done, it has been a fantastic edition of Ovation on TV today, which I hope that you all have enjoyed. Now, if you missed any previous editions of the show that you would like to see, like I always say, please go to YouTube and type in OVTV Online, where you'll find access to all the videos which we have shown on Ovation on TV. If you would like to continue the conversation, please go to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter and type in Ovation Media Group. That is at Ovation Media Group. And you'll find access to all the things which we have posted on our social media pages. And you can contact Ovation on TV if you would like us to cover any events which you might be having. Till I come your way, same time, same place next week, my name is Dala Orwari, and this has been an Ovation on TV production. Take care of yourselves and each other.
I don't believe that since how many years now? I don't believe that. Ah, where? Today I've been there. It's a close of pressure effect. They are just see many of them. It's a typical lie. Many of those that are even defected, how many of them have value in their state? Wait now. Wait, come on. Those that are defective. How much are they valuing in their home?
Everybody know Saraki is a PDP from day one. You understand? And in politics, everybody will take, because what I really believe is that if you come back, you want to be a Senate president again, and which cannot be. Even this present Senate president that is doing, assuming South or Southeast, they have Senate from APC. One will march as Senate president, because we have 3 regions in Nigeria: Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo. You get what I'm saying? Now, I do negotiation with APC that if they come back, are they going to give him Senate president? Which answer is no. Do you understand? And it discussed with the PDP, where I can see the soft landing. And I believe that was the reason why he moved to PDP.
We know quite well that Saraki is a master planner. He's a game planner. He came in as Senate president without the authority of the party, the APC, interested in him to be the Senate president. but he used his abracadabra, sort of, to come in as Senate president. And since then, this government has never seen the light of the day, because it's like it's one leg in PDP, another leg in the APC since he came in. That's what we have been witnessing. That is why this government is not moving forward. Let's tell ourselves the truth and the blatant truth. The government is not moving forward because an opposition is in the party, is within the system, within the party. Anything the executive wants to do, the Senate will not want to approve it. So it's causing some delay. There are a lot of problems.
You know, Nigeria politics, little by little, will get it right. To me, Nigeria, we are just celebrating the capitalists, the achievers. You understand me? We are not celebrating the ideology. Any person that come to this
said that the difference between water and oil, when the time comes, the water will go is right, while the oil will go the left. So that is it's time for him to leave, because go back to Kwara State too. The environment is not conducive for him. Even federal too, the environment is not conducive for him. Let him go back to the Poverty Development Party, because almost about 16 years they don't do us well in this country. So even youth, there's some youth now, they'll be mobilizing, they'll be shouting PDP, I'll just be looking at them, be laughing, because you worship wet. You forget our future. If you want to see a sample now, let somebody just bring 2,000 and 1,000 here now. If some people they say change. If you get the person give another PDP come, other party come, they say the same thing. Where are we going?
The Senate president camping from the president, from his former party to the present party, which is PDP. What I have to say about that issue is that, you know, so many people, they are looking at his faults. Some are blowing their grammar, bringing out their philosophies, one philosophy or the other, and they are blaming him. The question we Nigeria have to ask ourselves about this issue is that when you see somebody running away from one place to another, you should ask yourself, why is this person running away? Either the place he's staying is no longer favoring him, or the place he's staying is being well corrupt, that he cannot endure in that place, and that is why he has run from that place to another place. Now, the Senate president has run away from APC. Then the issue now is, what is APC doing? What is APC contributing? Which help is APC giving to we Nigerians at the moment? That is the question we need to ask ourselves.
The defection of Senate president is expected. Some of them are even thinking within themselves they are very powerful. I want to tell you today is false. Look at Muazu Babangida Aliyu, the Taliban of former governor of Niger State. He was the former governor of PDP Forum. Where is he today? He even lost his senatorial election. You understand? People like Saraki, they ride on Buhari, but they felt that they are somebody important. Let me tell you something. At the earlier of this government, you discovered that Bukola Saraki betrayed his party. By what? By conniving with opposition to come in government, making what has never happened in the history of Nigeria, the opposition becoming the Senate president. That is a fatal position. You trade it for your service and greatness interest.
Since how many years now? I don't want to talk. Ah, where? Today I've been...
Hello and welcome to PTV Week in Review. I am Aisha Jibrin.
First, our latest stories. The Independent National Electoral Commission has declared Ahmed Baba Keita of the All Progressive Congress as the winner of the by-election in the Katsina North Senatorial District. Professor Hudu Ayuba Abdullahi, the returning officer who announced the result at 4:42 a.m., said Keita scored 224,607 votes, while his elder brother and retired custom officer Kabiru Baba Keita of the People's Democratic Party scored 59,724 votes. The eventual winner defeated the PDP candidates in all the 12 local councils that make up the district. 6 political parties contested for the seat, which became vacant after the death of Senator Buka Mustafa. Katsina North Senatorial District is the home of President Muhammadu Buhari, now in London on vacation. The People's Democratic Party, however, did better in the by-election in Cross River State. Its candidate, Abi Okmukem, won the Obudu State constituency by-election into the Cross River House of Assembly. The PDP candidate scored 12,712 votes to beat her closest rival, Ishmael Mali Bendal of the All Progressive Congress, who polled 4,345 votes. She is the widow of the State Assemblyman, Stephen Okmukem, who died in May. His seat was declared vacant following his death. And after Kogi State, Haruna Isa, candidate of the All Progressive Congress, has been declared winner of Saturday's Kogi Koto Cafe Federal Constituency by-election in Kogi State. The by-election, according to reports, recorded cases of vote buying, ballot box snatching and thuggery, which led to the death of at least 2 persons. But at the end, final results released by Independent National Electoral Commission shows that the APC candidate polled 11,078 votes to defeat his closest rival, Bashiru Abubakar of the PDP. The African Democratic Congress and the Social Democratic Party came third and fourth with 977 and 433 votes, respectively. Still in Kogi State, no fewer than 2 people lost their lives in Kogi State during the election to fill the vacant position of Lokoja Kotun Cafe Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. The seat was occupied by the late Buba Jibril, who was until his death Deputy Majority Leader in the House of Representatives. An alleged ballot box snatcher was said to have died after a pistol in his pocket went off and killed him instantly. While police spokesman William Aya explained that the suspected political thug was overpowered at the ruling unit. He did not confirm whether it was the gun in the suspect's pocket that killed him. Another suspected ballot box snatcher was also beaten to death at a polling unit within Lokoja Metropolis. And on skill accusation ahead of the 2018 International Youth Day celebration, a non-governmental organization is taking skill acquisition training to the outdoor step of youth in Otukpo local government area of Benue State. Bright Health Vision Foundation says it is part of efforts to get young people off the street. Tavia Kume tells us more in this report as presented from our studios.
These are graduates and undergraduates learning new skills. They have been trained in various aspects of business, including peanut making, baking, and tailoring.
So far, we've taught them how to make coconut chips using coconuts, and the process in making that, we've taught them that, and we've done practical already, almost ready for consumption. We've also taught them how to make coconut chips, which they can make from flour and other baking materials. Also, we're going to teach them how to make shower cap and packing of, which you use in packing your hair for women. Now they can go to the market and get the materials to make these things for themselves, and also to make it to become entrepreneurs tomorrow, make it to become successful people who can pay their own bills. I think that is the most important thing.
The organizers say it's their own way of celebrating the International Youth Day. They also spoke of the need to help young people actualize their potentials.
We are out to empower both youth, women, the vulnerables. We carry out activities like in Benue State, we've done for food security in the IDP camps. And then right now we are in Otukpo to empower youths. We are empowering them to be the boss of themselves. We are empowering them to take charge of the economy. So that's our major aim, for them not to involve themselves in crimes.
The beneficiaries are convinced that the knowledge will help them become employers of labor in the near future.
As a young person and as a young graduate, it will assist me in so many places. Like the first thing we're taking through was coconut candy. They take us one after the other. What you don't understand, you will ask questions very, very well. I will first of all want to thank them for bringing it to our doorstep. Come and teach us this. I also pray that they will extend their hand of fellowship to other people and other states also. We have learned a lot.
I feel very glad being there, and I'm learning things like I didn't even know this was how peanut was made before, and I'm here, I'm really enjoying and I'm learning a lot.
Skills acquisition is one of the series of events lined up by the organizers to celebrate the International Youth Day.
You're on to PTV Week in Review. It's time for a quick break. When we come back, the Week in Review starts. Thanks for staying. We told you on Monday that PDP members of the House of Representatives have meanwhile vowed to resist alleged plans by the presidency to impose a new leadership on the National Assembly. They claim that there is a plot to invade the complex to effect an impeachment plot. The Southeast Caucus also has threatened to hold Senator Ali Ndume responsible for Ekweremadu's travails. Emmanuel Ehijene give us the report.
It is the second press briefing by the PDP Reps Caucus in a week. Their grouse is the same as last week, a plot to impeach the leadership of the two chambers. The PDP Caucus members argue that the new plot is through the reconvening of the National Assembly, ostensibly to ensure passage of the 2019 election budget, but say they will vehemently resist it on grounds that only Saraki and Dugara can recall lawmakers from recess. The lawmakers say the alleged plan by the presidency is unconstitutional and injurious to the nation's democracy. Emmanuel Ehijene, PTV News, Abuja.
We told you on Tuesday that as Nigerians woke up to the news of a siege on the National Assembly by personnel of the Department of State Services, not many knew that they would prevent legislators from accessing the complex. But lawmakers defied all odds and gained access as the waiting game began.
This is the National Assembly early hours of the morning as security personnel barricaded all entrance into the complex, obviously to prevent lawmakers, civil servants, and journalists from gaining access. But for these lawmakers, they saw the action as an affront, and these are their reactions when they were told it was an order from above.
Let's go there. Address international press. So just tell them what's going on your rank in the current Senate.
Well, I'm the Deputy Minority Whip as of today, but I believe I'll be the Deputy Majority Whip very soon. What has happened is that we're trying to access our offices. The security men have been asked to block all the offices, and beyond that, some people are being allowed to go into the chambers through another route, and we won't take that. We were all elected to be senators, and this impunity cannot stand. This is our country. We are elected members of parliament, and this has never happened before. So, happening now with a government that says it's a government of change, we will see how this will shape out.
To attention that we are being invaded by state security. It has come to attention that our colleagues cannot go to work after we adjourned for our summer holidays. We have been informed that the APC senators are attempting to effect a change of leadership. This is anti-democratic, against the law and against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This morning, I have been in touch with the American Embassy. I will be in touch with the European Union. I will be in touch with Great Britain. I will be in touch with Canada. In my conversations with these embassies and these countries, I want to make it clear, we are going to ask these Western democracies to revoke the visas of Senator Akpabio and anybody leading this assault on this institution. We will ask them to revoke the visas of their wives, and the visas of their children. They will not be allowed to leave Nigeria to travel to any nation in Western Europe and North America. And let me say this very clearly. Let nobody test me or let nobody test this institution. When you begin anti-democratic situations like this, including the DSS officials, I want all of you to photograph all those breaking the law. Get me their pictures, get me their names. We will submit the names of the DSS officials, the names of Senator Akpabio and the gang to the embassies. I've been in touch with them already. They are waiting for the list. And as soon as they have it, the request will go to Washington, it will go to London, it will go to EU, it will go to Canada, and we will make sure their visas are revoked. And I hope these anti-democratic forces love Nigeria, because they will not be traveling in a very, very long time. I also want to tell them that Bayelsa has very good medical facilities.
I tell you to shoot this bullet, and Nigeria shall face you. I dare you to shoot this bullet. You cannot come and go back to your station. Go back to your station. You cannot come here and embarrass us and also oppress us here.
The same people we are fighting for.
Was it the same thing Jonathan did to Buhari? If Goodluck had done this, would Buhari have become a president? You cannot do this to us. You start shooting at us. Have you heard? Have you heard? You come here with back space. You come here with bullets in your DC to intimidate you. Enough is enough in Nigeria.
But at last, the lawmakers had their way and headed straight into the complex. But this APC lawmaker is accusing the PDP of attempt to truncate the country's democracy, claiming that he had many APC members who were not informed of any meeting today.
And what is happening again? I saw a lot of PDP members, and I started calling some of my colleagues. What is going on? Nobody can even tell me what is happening. If there's going to be any sitting or whatsoever, it should be communicated. And I was not informed. I didn't get any phone call, any...
They are failed! They are failed! They are failed! They are failed!
It was a waiting game from then on, as journalists and civil servants wait patiently for what happens from here, as different speculations as to what prompted the actions continue to dominate the discourse. Emmanuel Ehijne, PTV News, Abuja.
Still on Tuesday, we reported the acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, directed the immediate sack of the Director General of DSS, Lawal Musa Daura. The acting president's spokesman, Laolu Akande, said in a statement that Daura had been directed to hand over to the most senior officer until further notice. Osinbajo had earlier summoned the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, and the DSS in the aftermath of the siege by MAX security operatives. Idris was the first to arrive at about 12:35 p.m. before the arrival of Daura at about 1:15 p.m. Right on Wednesday, we reported the federal government approved 348.59 billion naira for construction for road linking Akwanga through Jos to Gombe. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, disclosed this at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting held at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He said the project covers 420.6 kilometers, according to the Minister of Projects, would be completed in 48 months.
My response to the funding question is that first, it's good that it has come at this time. Let me say for the record that whether it was the Akwanga-Kefi, Abuja-Kefi Akwanga route or the 9th mile Makurdi route, which was approved in May, or this one that goes from Akwanga to Gombe, all these loans had been initiated in the previous administration. So I think the record should show that. And what is interesting was that that was the period Nigeria was earning $100 per barrel of oil. That's when these loans were. So if we had committed our money at the time we were earning $100 per barrel of oil to investing in critical infrastructure to evacuate and goods and agro-produce from these very prolific agricultural belts, those projects would probably have been finished by now. But not only were the loans initiated, nothing really was done in seeing them through. So I came to complete, when I became minister, the documentation process for the Abuja-Kefi route, and I can tell you that we just paid the commitment fee. I think it was about ₦1 billion about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we can now start construction. The contractor will move to site. Take my word for it, in a matter of weeks, subject to loss. It's actually opened, I think, 3 construction sites camps where his people are. So we're working on all of this. There are also compensation issues. People are asking us for compensation in the region of about ₦7 billion. So I've been talking to the governor of Nasarawa that, look, we can't pay out ₦7 billion just for compensation. How much will we then spend on the road? And because acquisition of land is a state matter, we asked the governor of Nasarawa to intervene, and our people are meeting with him. So now, the point, therefore, in response is that we are doing more.
Still in the Federal Executive Council meeting, the Minister of Petroleum Resources sought the approval of ₦17 billion for installation of technology monitoring schemes and structures under the Petroleum Equalization Fund, PEF. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachukwu, stated this at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting on Wednesday.
Today we presented two memos to Council for approval and got approval for both. The first is an approval to install technology monitoring schemes and structures in PEF, under PEF, for a total sum of about ₦17 billion. It is for the automated fuel management system and sensor network. And the narrative to this is like, we've all struggled with this whole subsidy payments, how much is consumed in Nigeria, what volume of products are moving out illegally, and all that, and the whole impact on FAC accounts and Federation money and all that. The President had given a very serious mandate that we needed to sort of rein in on this process. And this essence of what PEF is doing will enable us to track refined petroleum product movement from the point of LC opening, so on the vessels that come to Nigeria, up until the point that they're discharged into tanks in Nigeria, and from the tanks into trucks in Nigeria, monitor the trucks until they deliver the product into the storage tanks for the filling stations, and they're discharged and sold. So that will produce 100% holistic coverage of monitoring this product. For the first time, we'll be able to actually tell what we really consume in this country, because there's been so much going on in terms of the movement of consumption numbers. We've gone from 30-something million liters a day to about 70 million liters a day, at some point 80 million liters a day during the difficult times. And the challenge that the President has given me is to rein that in. Let's know what we consume in reality. Let's know where these products are going. And this process will be able to track every truck. So if a typical truck will be licensed with a driver and with a transport company. So if any product misses, you can find a transporter, you can find a company that takes responsibility. And so we expect this to be over a period of 3 years, but we have promised that within 1 year, the real effects of this will begin to show. Obviously, you need time to train and to continue to improve the system, but we hope that at the end of, by the time we start doing the 2020 budget in 2019, you will have gotten to a point where a lot of the losses that you are seeing are being tracked, and a substantial impact will be made on money that comes into Federation account. So that's the first, and that contract was in favor of a company called Mrs. Micro Access Limited. It's, like I said, for $17 billion. And will also enable us to keep proper data repository of consumption in this country, distribution, data on all trucks that operate and all depots where petroleum products is received, what is sold out of filling stations. And it's going to be a collaborative system that involves both NNPC, DPR that does a lot of the monitoring, and of course PPPRA, but situates, quite frankly, in PEF. The second contract that was approved was a contract for the revision of the contract for the construction of NCDMB's headquarters in Yenagoa, which had been given out in 2015 and was initially for a contract sum of about 27 billion, but now revised to a contract sum of 42 billion. It's probably the most dramatic skyline in Yenagoa, where this is located. It's gone substantially far. Reasons for this increase were largely due to foreign exchange variables. At the time it was awarded, it was about $157 to naira to dollar. Today it's about 305 and still counting. So the whole idea was to ensure that this project is completed on time. I think it's a 24-month contract, fairly far gone. We hope that once that is done, NCDMB will stop paying rents in a series of buildings that is rented in Yenagoa. But more important, the whole clamor of a lot of the South-South states during the Vice President's visit to Niger Delta with me and the Minister of Niger Delta was largely to see oil company foothold in some of these South-South states. Now, the building is larger than what NCDMB needs, and already conversations are concluded with IGP and a few of them who want to be able to position their presence very effectively in some of these areas. So it's something I'm looking forward to, and hopefully I am told that if we continue at the pace of construction, we need to be able, between end of this year and early next year, for His Excellency to commission this building. So those are the two contracts that were looked at today. And this last one was in favor of a company called Messrs. Megastar Technical and Construction Company Limited. And like I said, awarded in 2015 for 27 billion, now moved on to 42 billion. Thank you.
Thank you. Question?
So we can go. Today we presented a...
In the same vein, the federal government has also approved the procurement of container cargo scanners for the Nigerian Customs Service. Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun disclosed this to newsmen at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting. Adeosun said the scanners will be deployed to the Apapa, Tin Can and Onne seaports.
Presented and had approved two memos. The first memorandum was on behalf of the Nigeria Customs Service, and it was for the procurement of 3 units of Rapiscan mobile cargo scanners. These are container scanners that are being procured for customs. The total cost is 8,047,425,000 naira, and it includes spare parts, 30 months on-site service and support, and training of 120 officers. Now, these scanners will be deployed in Apapa, in Tin Can, and in Onne. Currently, we don't have any working scanners in customs, and this is causing us major security challenges, especially with the importation of ammunition, drugs, and other illicit materials, as well as loss of revenue that is occasioned by misdeclaration of what is in containers. So currently what customs has to do if they have a suspicion of a container is to actually open it and do 100% inspection. This has a number of implications. One, of course, they don't necessarily detect everything. And two, it has an implication on the ease of doing business because this delays the evacuation of containers from our ports. So by the proposed deployment of these scanners, customs estimate that there will be an 80% improvement in the time taken to actually inspect cargo. All scanners, what they propose to do is the scanners will be deployed at the port side. Every container will automatically be scanned and the image stored. And then at the point of clearance, they will then examine that image and decide whether or not they need to do further investigation of what is inside the container. Ultimately, these scanners will be integrated with our forthcoming single window project, which is really a project that will automate our customs and port services. So the Federal Executive Council approved this. They're non-intrusive inspection systems, so allows us to remotely scan containers, save the image of what's in there,
and identify potential misdeclarations and also suspicious or dangerous items. The second application that was approved was a World Bank facility for $150 million for polio eradication. It's what is called Phase 3 of the polio eradication project. Nigeria is en route to becoming polio-free, and we've been receiving significant support from the donor community towards this. However, there are 12 states that are seen as slightly behind in terms of our polio aspirations, and these are Adamawa, Bayelsa, Gombe, Jigawa, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Nasarawa, Niger, Plateau, Taraba, and Zamfara. And so this $150 million facility from the World Bank, which has an interest rate of 1.25%, a moratorium of 5 years, and a repayment period of 30 years, was approved to enable us to buy polio vaccine, improve the cold storage of vaccines in Kano and in Lagos, and to roll out polio vaccination coverage. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So if you have
We reported on Thursday that detainees in the net of the Department of State Service, DSS, may soon get reprieve. This is coming after the acting DG of the DSS, Matthew Shefa, said the agency will reveal all arrests and detentions. Shefa told newsmen at his maiden press briefing that he has received briefs about the former NSA, Sambo Dasuki, and others who are currently in detention.
This is a maiden briefing of the newly appointed Director General of the Department of State Services, Matthew Shefa, after the sack of his predecessor, Lawal Daura, on Tuesday. And it appears that the new acting DG is set to turn the table around. For him, it will be no longer business as usual. Shefa say he is keen on bringing new reforms in the agency, but first, he wants to ensure the protection of rights of citizens by reviewing all arrest and detention.
This is a democratic dispensation, we will ply our trade within the tenets of democracy, rule of law, and in consonance with global best practices. We know that we are not in an island of our own. It's a globalized world, and what we do, anything we do, is open to scrutiny and all that. We are cognizant of that, and in this space that we operate in, we are also cognizant of the fact that these are Nigerians. They are not aliens, they are not foreigners and all that. We are all one, and we have a responsibility to protect everybody. And
he added that he is currently receiving briefs on the case of the former NSA, Sambo Dasuki. I will attend to it immediately.
We are reviewing, at the moment, we are reviewing all issues that have brought about some unhelpful perceptions of the service in recent times, including detentions. We are reviewing all cases of detentions, perceived human rights abuses, public misperceptions of the misunderstanding and purposes of some of our recent actions. We are reviewing all this in order to learn the lessons, where we have made undertaking actions that are perceived adversely, learn lessons and ensure that we enjoy the confidence of the public. That is, in a nutshell, what I wanted to project this morning.
He added that the interests of the country will be protected and the abuse of human rights will not be tolerated.
A cross-section of Nigerians on Thursday expressed their misgivings on EFCC's decision to freeze the account of Benue and Akwa Ibom states. And although the anti-graft agency had since froze that of Benue, many Nigerians want the operatives to tread carefully.
Newsstands in the FCT have in recent times turned into talk shops. This time, it's all about EFCC's action in Benue and Akwa Ibom State. The anti-graft agency had within a few days frozen the government accounts in the two states controlled by the opposition, and these Nigerians can't help reacting about it.
What is the constitutional factor of a 500 account? Is it because Akpabio the cap? Are you getting me? So FPC and then who is a commissioner under Udom is fired? Are you getting me? For not being loyal to the city governor.
Not democratic. It is illegal to begin to freeze a state account without problem. So if you have frozen a state account, you're supposed to tell Nigerians the cause as to why you have frozen the state account. If it is not politically motivated, then what is the cost of you to freeze a state account that you don't find that state wanting on any issue, as in terms of financially or poor whatever, poor performance in the state in terms of governance? So why would you want to freeze a state account? Or is it because Akpabio, they come from APC, from PDP to APC, and his cousin, who is a commissioner under Udom, is being fired? Is that why you should freeze the state account? It is uncalled for. It is uncalled for. Freezing the state account is like crippling the state economy, crippling the governance of the state not to run. Now you come back to Benue State. Why would you freeze Benue State account? What is the cost as to why you have to freeze Benue State account? Is it politically motivated? Then if it is politically motivated, let us know. Is it as a result of poor performance or misappropriation of fund? Then you let Nigerians know.
The government cannot do that to suffer the government, because I heard that there are the government funds, what are they calling it, government have been given to them, and they failed to use it. So it is the masses that have been cheating. And my problem is federal government, once you seize it, the federal government should find another alternative of settling the masses, because you don't seize the state fund and allow the masses to suffer.
It's happening in the north. For people to say Akpabio has defeated, oh no, they can go and buy people. How many people to carry people up? They can buy people for them to witness it. Yes, they can buy, there is money. Even you yourself, if I collected the money, I will go and stand like this. But I can vote my mind. 2019 is going to be totality.
The freezing of the account in Benue State is actually something that has been really giving us sleepless nights, because we should be able to distinguish between politics and governance. If account of Benue State is frozen, that means all the civil servants in that state will not get their salaries. Government will be shut down in that state. They will not be able to perform some statutory functions they are supposed to perform as a government.
Some respondents are convinced that the action is connected to the ongoing defection trend.
The governor has been in APC. Nothing like that. All right? He has not been accused of anything, corruption or any. There was no case. Nobody said anything. Immediately he defected. Issue of corruption and all manner of things started coming. So these are just cases of, I don't know what to describe it. It's political, of course. It's political. Everybody knows. Let the government go back to their drawing board. Let them do the right thing. Let them follow the rule of law. Let them follow. We are in a democracy, for God's sake. Let them do the right thing. That
is better. You understand? It's better. We should be transparent. You understand? We should be transparent. It's not only, or not when the person they come. When you declare the person is not like you come, you begin to go after the person.
You know, they have not conducted election. Maybe they've conducted election like Ekiti, and it's outgoing. We will know that. But it's not outgoing. It's his active governor. What do you want him to use to run the governor? And that place is a place where we have security issues. So, to me, Benue freezing account and Akwa Ibom is unacceptable. They should have frozen it with immediate effect. And I know Buhari will not accept that too, because he believes in justice.
No fewer than 3 bank accounts operated by the Benue State government are under investigation by the anti-graft agency based on allegations of abuse of the state security votes. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
On Friday, we reported that the ruling All Progressive Congress is still keen on removing Senate President Bukola Saraki and his deputy, but National Chairman Adams Oshomole argued that it would be done within constitutional limits and in accordance with the law. He also told newsmen that Saraki was pursuing personal interest above that of the nation.
That Senate President Saraki tried to lay, I would rather adopt in total the illuminating submission of Mr. Femi Falana, SAN. He has spoken extensively on the illegality of Senator Saraki's action, whether in terms of purporting that there is a faction in his own political party, as it then was the APC.
The face-off over control of the National Assembly is still raging, but now the ruling party has confirmed that it is indeed plotting to impeach the Senate President Bukola Saraki. APC, however, insists that Saraki will be removed according to the law.
They have 48 or so senators. We have 53 senators. So how can 48 senators preside over 53 senators? Is returning us back to the PDP era, where the PDP heard that 16 governors were more than 19 governors. That is the era Saraki is taking us to. And incidentally, he belongs to that club, and to that club he has returned. So we can see directly where he is going. We can see directly where he's going, that he simply can't change his color, not at old age. When I say the Senate President will be impeached, he will be impeached properly according to law. And the Constitution is clear how a presiding officer can be impeached.
This is the first time that the APC leadership will be speaking on the blockade of the National Assembly. Unlike its federal lawmakers, it washed its hands off the security siege.
So he can't purport or claim that the vote that we won, APC won, in his senatorial zone were because of him. They were in spite of him, which is why his leaving is of no political consequences as far as electoral issues are concerned. And I stand by that. We tried to talk to him, not out of fear. We tried to talk to him out of conviction that as a presiding officer, there are rules of engagement, and we don't want him to get so emotional as to conduct himself in a manner that is offensive to those rules of engagement that presiding officers everywhere in the world are expected to observe.
The party chairman did not, however, fail to list what seems like the many sins of Saraki.
As the Senate President was reading defections from the Senate, his counterpart in the House of Representatives was also simultaneously reading the names of those who have defected. So there is a coordination for Defection Day. But happily, the preemptive step we have taken to address those with genuine grievances frustrated their numbers, so that from 36, he couldn't get more than 14 senators to the camp, including one that subsequently revised his decision when he overcome the manipulations and the way in which he plays on their affairs, to get them to resign from their political party.
As the drama continues to unfold, Nigerians can only wait and watch in anticipation. This especially as the National Assembly may suspend its recess to attend to some pending issues next week. Francis Etuko, PTV News, Abuja.
And finally, on Friday, we recorded that a cross-section of Nigerians have applauded the synergy between the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, on electronic voting. The INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, said the NCC is contributing its quota in the area of technology to ensure the sustenance of electronic voting in Nigeria. For now, some Nigerians believe it is a step that would tackle the practice of vote buying and other electoral irregularities.
Vote buying has been a major challenge facing the Independent National Electoral Commission for a while now. And every effort put in place by the Commission to stop the practice has yielded little results. Now, INEC is set to finally put a stop to vote buying, and one way they intend to do that is by partnering with the Nigerian Communications Commission to introduce electronic voting. Some Abuja residents, however, expressed confidence that their votes will count in the 2019 general elections.
In the electoral processes all over the world and in this country, there is no system that is perfect. I think the electronic something is quite innovative, though there are hiccups, or there were hiccups in the Kaduna and other elections where it was experimented. I still believe that we should give it a trial, because in advanced democracies like the United States and even India, they have embarked on electronic voting. And Nigeria, as the largest democracy in Africa, cannot also afford to be left behind. Another good thing about it is that, to a great extent, it minimizes fraud in the electoral process.
The generator without the power, so we can still use generator. If we use generator to watch footballs, we can use our generators to do our votings. We can go to your ATM point. The government just declares a week for the voting, and then you go to any point of electronic device and do your voting. That's all. It's good. I see it to not create an avenue or a room for election bribing.
It's a welcome idea. Electronic voting is welcome idea. It has been tested in Kaduna State during the local government. Was it not successful? It was successful. But people criticize based because they were not carried along. They criticize. What is happening within JAM now? It's not an electronic examination, and it's helping the matter.
Some of them also have this to say to the authorities.
On a very serious note, I will, strongly advise the government to carry out intensive sensitization exercise by using the National Electoral Agency. You see, because when you talk about electronic voting, people who are illiterates, because according to the United Nations, estimate concerning the percentage of those who are, enlightened and not enlightened, I think Nigeria still has a very large number of people who are not enlightened and who may not even know what electronic voting is all about.
It will be a gateway to free and fair election if and if only they choose to do it right. You see, we have so many things that happens in Nigeria that beats your imagination and my imagination. You see, we're not sincere. Even they said, they are not sincere. There is insincerity everywhere. So everybody tilts towards, and there are some organizations that need to be partyless or that must not be partisan, like your electoral body. Your electoral body, your security. They must be they must not play politics in the affair. But what we see today, they will pretend to see, want to do it this way, but they'll be doing the other way. So if the INEC, if they are sincere, if CPC and other people, so let us be sincere and get it right, Nigeria can get it right. It's a very good thing. I said if and if only they choose to do it right.
As Nigerians prepare for the 2019 general elections, stakeholders are of the view that there's a need to conduct free, fair, and credible elections devoid of crisis. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
Now this is where we draw the curtain on PTV Week in Review. It has been a wonderful experience. On behalf of PTV News production crew, many thanks for watching. I am Aisha Jibrin.
People of Nigeria, I hear say don't back Odin. From my side, the good though as the banner, because even human being, you no go to the drink Odin. I beg, he good, make a banner. We don't want them again.
a lot of Nigeria youth that have been taken into codeine have caused a lot of havoc to them, even to the society in general.
The recent ban of codeine is very amazing because that will help the Nigerian youths to face the reality and know what they're doing. Because of then, man, people are taking this codeine and they'll be very slow, they can't even help themselves out. But now that it's banned, I think they have no way to find any excuse. So they will come out, do the right thing at the right time and work for themselves.
I feel happy about the ban of codeine in Nigeria because it has caused so many harms to our youth out there. They over-abuse it. For those it may affect, they can go for other alternative of cough syrup. It's not only codeine that is in Nigeria that is cough syrup.
To some extent, it's okay. In the sense that the abuse is getting out of hand. You see people taking codeine as if they are drinking water, which is causing health hazards to most of us. That, I say, is not good. But think about it the other way around. I need codeine to cure me of one ailment or the other. And for me to go and get it now from the pharmacy becomes a problem because it's banned. So what do you do now? So before the government will come out to say this and that, I think it should be better for government to find out the root cause of why these guys or these little ones, not even guys this time, even women, even politicians, they do it, they take it. Find out why they are doing it, especially those guys outside. Then try to sort out that problem so that it will stop. If you say you ban it, the effect will be on almost everybody. But if you find out the root cause of why they are doing it, it will help us better.
I think the recent ban of codeine is one of the most positive things this government has done so far. And it's a very, very good thing because it will actually curtail drug abuse. Because if you look at Kano and Lagos State right now, they're among the highest abusers of drug, and Katsina State is a very good thing for the youth, and it will definitely grow the level of efficiency and self-sustenance in the country.
Oh my God! Oh, oh, oh!
Election is when we elect our leaders who represent us, and election is my right as a citizen of this country.
Election is a voting process. Election is a voting process, like vote a candidate for a leadership.
It's not like my right to choose the country's leader. My own part to play about it.
Say from layman point of view, is any activity that is aimed at putting people in a position of authority.
It's a platform, an avenue for people to elect those or get into offices, those that they want to represent them.
An election is simple now. It's just people choosing one or two people. The society choosing a number of people to represent, to lead, to coordinate, to do administration. All right.
And now you want my trust once more.
Before you can say, what an election is, there has to be an electorate. Somebody have to, vote, you understand, in an election for people of authority to get into power.
The vote is the power of the electorate. All right. So the people brings their power to
to the table during an election. That's what it is.
I think it's more like us having a say of who goes there to represent us, of who we talk to, you know, that will guide us aright, you know, and give us the benefit of that. Oh, let me not use the word of past one. Or give us the benefit that what we need is what we're going to get.
Between the electorate and the election itself, the electorate are supposed to willingly vote according to their conscience, according to what they feel that the capabilities of whoever they want to elect into offices can do.
The electorate, they have the power to elect their leaders because this is a democratic setting, and you know what the meaning of democracy is. Democracy is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So it is our right as the electorate to elect our leaders.
Only God can judge you now. Only God can judge you now.
Come on, you can't buy my right. It is my right as a citizen, and you can't buy it with money. No amount of money can buy it. So because by the time you sell your right to vote, you're selling your birthright. That's the way I see it.
I think that is